Oh, look who is back. My goal is not to get him in trouble this time around. He's Austin Rivers, NBC Sports analyst. How? Wait a
Oh man, oh man.
minute.
The storm you brew up last time I was here. My goodness.
Wait, what was that about? What was that
I,
storm?
I don't remember. I just remember I was in the. I went from peace to war very quickly. All is cooled. All is cooled off.
Okay. Is it just a coincidence that when the Spurs play well, or Wemby plays well, the Spurs win? When SGA plays well, the Thunder win?
No, the two best players of the team. They are the head of the snake. I thought Wemby just did a fantastic job last night, just being aggressive. I know some of his first few shots were like deep threes, but it was the non-hesitation in his game that I liked. How sure he was. He came out and he's letting it fly. They were great. They were physical. If the Spurs play like that, it could be an interesting game seven.
And there's that, I don't know who you played against, where they're omnipresent. Like, they're there, and they make you think consciously or subconsciously they may get a piece of this shot. Was there somebody that you went against?
I think you have to give Gobert credit for that. I think that's actually one of the things he did do well. Many things he did well defensively, but when he was at like his prime, Rudy was a guy that whether he was blocking the shot or not, when you drove to the basket, you had to at least see where he was at, and he altered shots that way. He had an impact on the defensive side. So not to this level. We've never seen it. Obviously, what Wemby does is just like, the alien is the best nickname I think fitting for this dude. But yeah, Rudy had a little bit of that for sure.
Was there a market correction last night with SGA that he only shoots 3 free throws?
No, because I've seen, I understand why people feel this way, and I get it. That when he falls after every jump shot, it can be, hard to watch and other things. But I've called games this year where I've seen this guy make like 15 to 20 field goals in a game. He's unbelievable as a basketball player. So I thought they did a great job defending and just coming out of the game with physicality, and they took the win out of OKC. OKC hung around for most of the game until that third quarter, and they just, they blew it wide open. And I think you heard it after the game with Shea's interview. He's like, I'm ready to go. I think these guys were already, I don't want to say they were planning for game seven, but I think they went into that game last night. They put up a fight, and as soon as it turned, they're like, let's go get it at home. This has been a tick for tack series. These two teams mirror each other. They do a lot of the same things. Actually, in every regard, they're the same team. So this is been the best series all playoffs. And I do feel if OKC wins, they have a stronger chance of winning the championship. Whereas I feel like if San Antonio wins, the Knicks could be a thorn in their side in certain regards. And yeah, it's interesting how this will play out.
Yeah, and I keep saying I hope the officials let certain moments play on, and not call. There's certain moments where you just say, okay, let's go. And I see this more in the WNBA than I do the NBA. It feels like they do stop. They're going to give the benefit of the doubt. And if I'm SGA, I go searching for fouls. Like I don't stop. I don't want to apologize for winning.
Yeah.
So I think we'll probably see him more aggressive in Game 7. You're at home. I would be surprised if he doesn't shoot more than 10 free throws on Saturday.
Yeah, the aggression will definitely be up. In a Game 7, you go for it. They did a great job of surrounding him. You got to corral SGA. You can't let him operate in space. He has to continue to make the right play, and they're okay with that. You have to be willing with Dort and Caruso threes. I know Caruso's playing out of his mind right now. We got to live with that, though. You know what I mean? Like Caruso and Dort hit 5 threes each, 4 threes. Hey, listen, shake their hand, and we gave it our best. But, like, giving him, like you said, room to operate and him getting 14, 15 free throws, you're not going to win that way. There's a proof history of when he plays that well and plays at that level and gets that many free throws, they win just about damn near every time. So that he has to continue to play in crowded space. San Antonio did a fantastic job last night of doing that and just being physical with them, throwing different bodies at him. They had Carter Bryant on him. They had Vassell on him at one point. Obviously, the main guy is Castle. You just continue just throw fresh bodies at him, be physical. Hopefully, he could wear down a little bit. We'll see, though. You know how it is, Game 7. Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Talking to Austin Rivers, NBC Sports analyst. When your dad was coaching the Celtics, did you ever play pickup games with those guys?
Sometimes it was more so like one-on-ones. Like I would play ones with guys before. This is when I got a little bit older. Because at that time I was like probably like ninth grade, eighth, ninth grade when he was like towards the prime years of Boston. So I could play a little bit at that point. It was only a few years away from like, really being able to play. So those were good memories. I got some ones in with some of those guys for sure.
Anybody as intense as Kevin Garnett in your life?
No, 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 no. That's like peak intense. I don't think there's anybody I've ever played against or seen in an NBA game be more intense than Kevin Garnett. So that he used to always scare me, when I was young, and then obviously when I became more of a fan of basketball, like I was obsessed with his old like just his aura, his tenacious energy and what he brought to that Celtics team. That '08 Celtics team again, Paul Pierce was the guy, but KG was the spirit of that team. And yeah, playing against him one-on-one was crazy.
Do
I
you
know that story.
do
Yeah.
you believe in analytics?
I do. I do. I do. I don't there's a difference between believing in them and living by them. I believe in analytics. I'm not gonna full-fledged pledge it to the point to where that only matters. There are things that numbers don't show. There's an eye test. There's a feel. You could watch a player and see if he has feel for the game. There are things that analytics just don't show. So you can't live and die by them, but they have to be a part of your process, especially just with the way the game has changed and how shooting has been implicated in just team success. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it feels like these two teams that are playing in the Western Conference Finals aren't three-point shooting teams.
Correct.
And I,
Correct.
and I wonder, we most leagues are copycat leagues. When you see a team win a championship, you're like, oh, maybe we can be the greatest show on turf like the St. Louis Rams were. We'll change our
Yep.
offense here. I don't know if this changes in approach if, either one of these teams win the title. I mean, it helps having SGA and Wemby, but still their philosophy is not married to the three-point shot.
It's not. It's contradicted everything the game has continued to press, right? I would say it's hard to copycat. You kind of nailed it on the head, Dan. It's hard to copycat a team that has an SGA, who's a generational scorer, and then obviously what Wemby is. You definitely can't replicate that, right? Both these teams have hung their hat on being deep and having guys that can play two-way basketball. All these teams have guys that can play both sides of the ball. De'Aaron Fox is not a bad defender. He can play on both sides of the ball. Dylan Harper can play on both sides of the ball. We know what Castle can do on both sides of the ball. We know what Wemby can do. Carter Bryant comes in and is mainly a defender. All these guys, Vassell, all these dudes can play both sides of the basketball. When you go to the Thunder, it's the same thing. They have 8 or 9 guys who are two-way players. We got so caught up in a rush of guys who could just shoot that like teams just went and found guys that can just shoot. You know what I mean? And the 3-and-D term is thrown around loosely. There's a lot of guys who are attached 3-and-D and aren't even great defenders. The Thunder genuinely and San Antonio have two-way players, and they're not 3-and-D guys. They're just guys that can ball. So I think to your point, yeah, you might see teams not be so like harping on whether a guy can shoot 40 from 3. If he's got talent, if he can play, if he can compete, does he know how to play? Does he know how to move it out the ball? That's another thing. All these teams are unselfish. Do you see how the ball pops around the perimeter, both teams? Obviously, Shea's the scorer, so he's going to shoot a lot of shots. But that ball flies around when it's not in his hands. And it's the same thing with San Antonio. So I think that is what we're going to see being more of a copycat. People talked about the purity of basketball being lost. I do think we're going back to an era of the ball moving around more instead of like the Lukas, the Trey Youngs. All these guys are remarkable players, right? But that style of play where you're dribbling like the air out the ball. You just don't, with the exception of Shea, the ball really pops, and you're seeing that with a lot of these teams. Indiana was kind of a secret to that last year when they popped up. So multiple guys that can put the ball on the floor, multiple guys that can defend.
If I said you had to get a 2, and you pick of the guys still left. If I give you Brunson and SGA, you need a 2. Game on the line, you need a 2.
Man, that's so tough, man. Brunson's so damn good down the stretch, man. It's like it's impossible to like not pick him just because what we've seen. And yet I have to go with the guy I gotta go with the MVP, man. For a multitude of reasons. It's close. First off, there's no wrong answer. Because Brunson's probably my favorite player in the NBA, just his footwork. But Shea's taller. Can always get a shot off no matter what. Not that you see Brunson get a shot blocked at any time, but Shea can at least get a shot off whenever. And I know with the foul baiting stuff, at the very worst, I'm getting maybe 2 free throws with the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to get a clean look or he's getting to the line. So that's where I would have to probably just go Shea. I think they're 1 and 2 in the NBA in terms of clutch.
Are you and Draymond okay now?
I don't know. I don't know. You know what, man? Me and him have always had like a little, whatever. When we played, we'd always talk a lot versus each other for whatever reason. We extra than like somebody else. And that, no surprise, carried over to the events following your show. Dan, I don't wish any negativity upon him. I wish him all the best in his life. I stand by everything I said. I don't take anything back.
But you were being an analyst. He was being personal. That's
correct. That's how he responds. You know, like when we talk basketball, I'll talk about black and white. He'll go personal. It's like when Chuck said, how are you guys gonna, you guys are getting older. How are you guys gonna defeat Father Time? What's the plan? Well, the plan is not to look like you in a Houston jersey. He never responded to the question.
Yeah.
He went personal with Chuck. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. He goes personal. So when I woke up the next day or 2 days later and had a full-on 3-minute video about myself, just dissecting my career, I was just like, Draymond, and I responded with my video, and that did what it did. But I still kept it. I still kept it light. I could have went. You know what I mean? Like, but that's that. I don't like to be messy. And that's not who I am. I have respect for Draymond, despite whatever we feel about each other. But yeah, I stand by what I said. Ain't nothing changed.
Well, you can be all defense, but he's all defensive.
Yeah, I mean, my main point was like I've never heard Dennis Rodman be like, Phil, I wish I was more of a focal point in the offense. Dennis Rodman's a Hall of Famer for what he did in his role. He was a superstar in his role. Don't get that confused with being the superstar. There's a difference, right? That's common sense. That's all I was alluding to when he said the Steve Kerr comments. He obviously got in his feels and went personal instead of responding to what I said. We all know what I said was the truth because that's the reality of the situation. And he has nothing to be ashamed of. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame, man. That's why he's made over $200 million. He should be smiling and be happy that he's had such a great career and that he's done great things for the game of basketball instead of like trying to fight who he is. That's, it's all good, man. So we all have those identity issues. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, Dan? It's all good, bro. I got nothing but love and respect. He's reached heights that every basketball player, including myself, in terms of being a Hall of Famer, dreams of being. So respect to him, and that's that.
Okay. I didn't get you in trouble. Nothing's blowing up this time around. It's all good.
Clean airs.
And
clean smooth airs, Dan.
And you did your job. You were analytical. That's the hard part for players with former players. Like, what are you doing? Like how, what it's like to, all of those things. But you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. He's Austin Rivers, NBC Sports analyst. Great to talk to you again. Thank you, bud.
Always, anytime.
All righty. We'll take a break. 877-3DP show. We'll get some phone calls as well. Coming up, Nate Bargatze will join us back after this Dan Patrick Show.